Hi Leo, how's it going? I hope you're doing awesome today. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My name is Lynn and I'm going to be doing a general reading for you. I'm really excited to channel these messages for you from Spirit. I've already cleared the energy and pulled the cards. This is a 10-card Celtic cross spread with some clarifiers. And over here is your oracle message. Okay, so again, it's a general reading, so just take what resonates and leave the rest. So this is your first message, and you got denial. The message on the card says, I acknowledge my fear, but I replace it with the insight of awareness. So Spirit's saying that it's time to open up and be completely honest with yourself. And I just want to jump to your first card in your Celtic cross spread. See the message on the bottom? Trust yourself to see the truth. But we'll get to that in a second, okay? So Spirit is saying that it's time to open up and be completely honest with yourself at this time. Buried fears and resentments don't die. They just fester and cause disease. And when you bring them to the surface and examine them in the light of day with love and compassion, you'll banish them from your life. It might bring you pain and heartache to reflect on these situations again, but you're only giving them power by suppressing them. The dangerous seeds of denial will grow and spread and manifest unless you uproot them, examine them, and then release them. This is the only way to become whole and healthy. Ask your angels and spirit guides to help you do that as well, is the message I've received about that. Learn not to bury painful emotions in the first place. Deal with them as they come. Take all the time you need to neutralize them without hiding them. Your soul wants to live honestly and authentically in the now. And so don't hinder it by placing emotional landmines in its path. So that's your first message. Then your first card is the Seven of Cups. This card represents your current situation, so trust yourself to see the truth is the message with this card, okay? Your current situation, this is Scorpio energy. The Seven of Cups is represented by Scorpio. This card is all about searching for purpose, procrastination, picking and choosing, dreaming, fantasizing. There's a lot of options, a lot of possibilities. That's why Spirit's saying, trust yourself to see the truth in the situation. Maybe you're like, is it this? Is it this? Is it that? Multiple possibilities. Wishful thinking, choices. This card is telling you to meditate. But yeah, trust your intuition, I think, is the message here. And again, keep in mind the denial message, okay? You're looking at a number of possibilities now. There's too many to make an easy choice. With so many options, you're exploring different intentions in your imagination, but trying to decide which to manifest is a challenge. This card represents a time of great creative potential, along with the energy to make use of it. Let me just show you your second card that came out. I'm just trying to pick it up here. Your second card that came out is the Queen of Wands, reversed. When a card comes out reversed, it means you're getting extra protection from Spirit. And the message with the Queen of Wands upright is, I am naturally creative, but maybe you're struggling with that because it came out reversed. But the Seven of Cups is saying that this is a time of great creative potential, along with the energy to make use of it. Many options are available. The difficulty is in choosing the right one. This card is about fantasy, fantasizing and imagination. Too many choices, all of which seem very appealing to you. You're spending time dreaming about them, imagining what each one would be like, but still you can't pick one. You're drawn to these choices emotionally. Set aside those emotions for a moment and invite a little reason into the picture. While emotionally appealing, some of the choices may not be good for you, so Spirit is saying choose wisely. Then what's crossing you or what's challenging you or your situation or what you're celebrating is the Queen of Wands reversed. So this is either you, someone in your life, or a situation. And in a general reading like this, it can be male or female. It's Aries energy. So maybe you're having a challenge or an issue with an Aries, or you're celebrating an Aries. But the Queen of Wands reversed is someone who is selfish, jealous, insecure, demanding, vengeful, manipulative. The Queen of Wands is telling you to have self-respect for yourself and self-confidence. Reestablish your sense of self. The Queen of Wands reverse is someone who is temperamental. She can be a bully, someone who feels overwhelmed. She could be introverted, exhausted, burnt out. She may have fertility issues. Someone who has low self-esteem, low self-belief. She represents selfishness, jealousy. She's pushy, demanding, overbearing, self-righteous, a busybody. She's catty, spiteful, vengeful, deceitful, unfaithful. She could be a troublemaker, malicious. She could be a liar. She can represent a powerful woman or man in a general reading who demands control over your affairs in return for her advice, support, and or financial assistance. She wants to control social situations for her own advantage. And if she doesn't represent an actual person, she could be a warning to be careful in any business deals with women or men, again, in a general reading. She also advises you to avoid offending socially powerful people. Be aware of deception, greed, and jealousy. She's someone who's given to melodrama, or someone who can be very bossy or controlling. And then the clarifier on top of that is the Knight of Wands. This card is telling you to make decisions without any pressure. So the Knight of Wands, again, is either you, someone in your life, or a situation, male or female in a general reading, Sagittarius energy. The Knight of Wands is someone who is courageous, energetic, charming, a hero. He's rebellious. He represents someone who's moving countries, moving to another country, being swept off your feet. He tells you to finish what you started, take action. He's a card of adventure. He represents fearlessness. He's fearless. He can represent travel. He's hot-tempered, a free spirit, is open-minded. He represents success and taking risks. He can be a shameless flirt. He's sexy, brave, self-assured, confident, impulsive. He's telling you to take inspired action. He represents passion, energy, enthusiasm. He's exciting, warm, adventurous, eager. He could represent being hasty. Knights are messengers and travelers, and he may be bringing you good news concerning your work or social activities. He could represent a journey, a vacation, a change of residence, or a change of job, an engagement, or a marriage. He could represent a young man who's a relative or friend with the same qualities as the king and queen who are his parents in the royal family. He can be trusted and is faithful. And then the last clarifier is the Ace of Wands. The message with this card is, I am inspired to follow my passions. Spirit is saying, be inspired and follow your passion. This is Aries, Sagittarius, Leo energy. This card is about inspiration, having a creative spark, having a new initiative, new passions. Again, being enthusiastic. This card, aces, represent new beginnings, being bold or being daring. Again, fertility. Birth, conception, again, receiving good news, physically starting something. It's a card of urgency, accepting a challenge, getting into the game. It's a card of creation, willpower, inspiration, opportunity, change, desire, having a new lease on life, getting fired up. It's a card of creativity, energy, being spontaneous, spontaneity, security, family life, action again, having hope, having fun, adventure, having potential, growth, excitement, travel again, new opportunities, spiritual inspiration, talent, travel. It could represent. This card indicates the beginning of an enterprise, usually involving business, the arts, or finance. You've planted the seeds for a new birth, possibly a creative or money-making idea. You're now free from restraints that have hampered you in the past. You're able to express yourself successfully, take on a new role, or forge a new identity through your work. This card indicates a creative opportunity. It's an excellent time to harness the energy and passion that this opportunity brings. Use it to take the first steps towards your castle. You recognize this opportunity and can feel the excitement within. Take it and run. It's a magical moment that won't last long. Then your foundation message is the High Priestess, Major Arcana card. It came out reversed. So extra protection from Spirit. The High Priestess is represented by the moon in astrology. Your intuition guides you to the truth. Maybe you're not trusting your intuition enough at this time. When the High Priestess comes out reversed, it talks about repressed intuition, secrets, repressed feelings, a lack of center, you've lost your inner voice. Again, they're talking about fertility again. So that's the third time Spirit is bringing up fertility. Feeling disconnected from your intuition, being silenced, feeling confused, hidden motives. There's a lack of self-belief again. Silence, superficiality. It could represent blocked psychic powers for some of you. Having uncontrolled outbursts, unwanted attention, withdrawal, sexual tension, cognitive dissonance. Something within you is seeking recognition. You may have been neglecting your true purpose, although at a deep level you're aware that motivation is stirring to make a change. Maybe you're keeping your situation private for now, not wanting others to know about it. Those around you may notice that you seem vague or not quite yourself, but that's okay. Spirit is saying just ignore them. You're in the process of manifesting spiritual fulfillment and well-being. This card warns of knowledge withheld. Maybe you're seeking something that you are not meant to know, or maybe someone's keeping something from you that you need to know. Or it could mean that you have knowledge that needs to remain a secret, at least for now. And then your fourth card is the Emperor, Major Arcana. This card represents your past, but is relevant to your current situation. Aries energy. This card is telling you to make empowered choices. The Emperor represents authority, structure, control, fatherhood. He could represent an older man. He represents dependability, protectiveness. He's logical, practical. It's a card of action again, taking action. He could represent a father figure, making decisions. He represents a challenge. He represents satisfaction from achievement, discipline, establishment. He represents the establishment, responsibility, stability, structure, protection, authority, control, focus. This card is about being in control. You are or should be in charge of your life, your environment, your body, your temper, and your actions. You and you alone should be in control of your life at this time. Okay, so they're talking about, you're being in control of your body, your environment, your actions, your temper. This card is giving you permission to be assertive, brave, and bold. You've already built a solid foundation. Your goals will be realized. The Emperor could also represent a leader that you admire and want to follow. There may be issues related to authority. The Emperor represents worldly power and wisdom. He understands that peace requires a willingness and ability to defend it. He teaches the meaning of power and how to use it in this world. He tells us that it is necessary sometimes to take up arms against evil forces. As a protective male force, especially of the home and of domestic harmony, he personifies the ideal that what is worth having is worth fighting for. There could be issues concerning your biological father or authority figures in general, but the time has come for you to be the authority figure rather than depending on others to provide protection. You may be struggling to achieve independence, become your own person, and reconcile father issues. Your real father may have some health issues. If that resonates, I'm sending you a big hug. Leo, a situation that can bring up feelings of being abandoned by a protective father figure, or maybe someone in your life is acting as a father figure, like a boss or a husband. You may be involved with the established order or with someone who represents the establishment. You may have a need to identify with a powerful group and to be one of them, or you may be associating with someone else who has that need. And then your immediate future, what's likely to happen very soon in your life. You have the Queen of Pentacles reversed. This is either you, someone in your life, or a situation, male or female, and the Chariot to clarify. So the Queen of Pentacles is Capricorn energy. She The message on the card is, I have everything I need to prosper. Maybe you don't feel that since it came out reversed. The Queen of Pentacles, it represents jealousy again. Someone who is self-centered, smothering, shallow, greedy, possessive. She represents coddling, someone who's stuck in a rut. She could represent a bad mother. Someone who's self-centered, mean-spirited, shallow, a sociopath, someone who's possessive, materialistic, a gold digger, intolerant, self-absorbed, envious, pretentious, ungrounded, overly ambitious, a social climber. She's disloyal, a cheater, a disorganized. She represents neglect, poverty. So the Queen of Pentacles reversed, your immediate future card, represents someone who will try to block your efforts. She could be merely indifferent or actively hostile. If she's a relative or an older friend, a mentor or boss, she might be a superficial person who only pretends to want to help you, or the price of her help might be too high. She wants to control everything. She may lack confidence and try to compensate for her own shortcomings by a display of her wealth, or she may be hiding a lack of money. She could also describe a situation where you should be cautious about whom you trust. She could represent someone who may sacrifice her own joy and other people's feelings in favor of practicality. She may try to meet emotional needs with material items. Her dedication to her lists and timeline make her rigid and unable to respond with flexibility to the needs of others, or perhaps even to her own needs. And then the clarifier on top of that for your immediate future, what's likely to happen very soon in your life, is the Chariot. This card is represented by Cancer. Go forward with confidence, this card is talking about. This is a card of action again, success again, having self-discipline, having ambition, having focus. It's a card of having willpower again, control, determination, strength. Victory is assured with the Chariot card. You are going to triumph. You have the ability. This is a card of conflict, struggle, change, overcoming obstacles, hard work. Things are moving fast. In this situation, you're completely, totally involved, and happily so. Whatever task is at hand can be accomplished. Though the pace is faster than usual, you're attuned to the rhythm of it and the changes that are happening, either at your job, in a relationship, or in some community or worldly situation. By uniting the yin and yang sides of your personality, you keep things going in the right direction. There is a need to control competing forces, whether these are inner conflicts, people, or a situation in your life. Maybe the solution to the problem at hand is to take the middle road between the conflicting elements. Once you've resolved the conflict within your own mind, you'll be able to move forward. But to do this, you need firm resolve, self-mastery. With clear thinking and a sense of purpose, you can overcome all obstacles. This card says that you have the means to triumph over all obstacles and achieve the goals you've set for yourself. It could also mean that assistance is on the way. Maybe you're in the process of transforming yourself and your ways of thinking and behaving to create a firm foundation from which to pursue your desires. You know how to use your past experiences to reach a goal. You're in touch with deep inner resources to do so. And again, the Chariot relates to travel and transportation, so it can mean buying a new car or maybe taking a trip. And then the outcome that you desire most in your situation is the Death card. This is Scorpio energy, major arcana. This card is telling you just to let go and embrace new beginnings. But this is what you want. This is the outcome you desired. Again, Spirit is talking about change and new beginnings, spiritual transformation, transition. You're going through a transition, letting go. It could represent a sudden or unexpected upheaval, endings, a rebirth, a renewal, an adjustment. It's a card of acceptance, release, loss, mourning, the end of a cycle, the beginning of a new one, a metamorphosis. This card represents the end of a cycle or the death of a cycle. Whenever a stage in life ends, there's a need for mourning. Trying desperately to hold on to what is clearly over causes trouble. The ultimate message of the Death card is the promise that new life follows disintegration. Okay? It indicates a transformation for the better. Maybe you're experiencing a metamorphosis of some sort. Patterns you once found workable are no longer effective. The old ways must be destroyed to make room for the new that is coming into being. Okay? This card, this card implies the end of something, a job, the end of a relationship, the end of a situation, an organization. The actual ending will likely be hard, but once it's over, the cycle continues and something new will come. But it may be a welcome closure, such as ending a bad relationship, quitting an unhappy job, selling a house to get a new one. Or it could symbolize, it could mean a symbolic death where you eliminate old beliefs that no longer work for you and that were holding you back. Death is usually hard, but it must happen before transformation or resurrection occurs. And then your self-image card, how you see yourself, is the Page of Pentacles, and the clarifier is the Temperance card. Be open to opportunities for personal growth is the message on the Page of Pentacles. Okay, be open to opportunities for personal growth. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy. The Page of Pentacles represents a student, someone who's grounded. She could represent a young person, someone who's loyal, faithful, dependable, reliable, consistency. She's mature, steady, hardworking, responsible. She could represent financial opportunities. He or she, in a general reading, she represents jumping in, excellent prospects, developing your skills, laying your foundations. Again, very ambitious. Ambition keeps coming up in your reading, Leo. Having a lot of ambition, desire, diligence, developing a plan. The Page of Pentacles represents setting goals, solid beginnings, deciding what you want and going for it. She represents good news in earthly matters. Ambitious, goal-oriented. She's a planner. She's studious. She lives a healthy lifestyle. She's consistent. Pages are messengers, so you may be receiving good news regarding the acquisition of money or material goods. His or her, in a general reading, appearance suggests someone who is intelligent, refined, sensitive to the arts, appreciative of the good life, ambitious, determined, goal-oriented. The Page of Pentacles could also indicate your own worldly ambitions and or a message concerning them. And then, so maybe receiving a message about money, resources, a material matter, or a health issue. The clarifier on top is the Temperance card, Major Arcana card. This is Sagittarius energy. So the Temperance card is all about having balance, having peace, having patience, moderation in everything, on all levels, feeling calm, having a balanced temperament, inner calmness. It's a card of cooperation, compromising, being adaptable, having a new perspective. It's tranquility, harmony, serenity. Again, having purpose. It's a card of purpose. Having harmonious relationships, finding meaning, choosing the middle path. Moderation in all things. You're being cautioned to have patience, which can be a challenge for some people. The circumstances of your situation will teach you to wait calmly when it seems like nothing is happening. You're not in a position to hurry matters along. The only course is to sit and wait for things to develop in their own time. The trick is to make the waiting constructive. Learning to do nothing mindfully is a milestone on the spiritual path. There are times when nothing can be done and nothing needs to be done. Okay. You're being asked to blend things in a harmonious way. You're learning to temper your ego needs with the legitimate needs of the spirit within. This is a time of inner growth and outer harmony. With patience, you can unite the disparate elements, whether they're raw materials, resources, personal, or ideas, into a harmonious whole. Watch your balance. Take time to make sure your reactions, your decisions, and your words are appropriate for the situation at hand. Practice moderation and patience. This is no time for extreme behavior or melodramatic gestures. So that's the second time Spirit is saying that. So I would definitely make a note of that, Leo. And then your environment, or how others see you in your situation, is the Nine of Pentacles, Virgo energy. Take the time to nurture yourself, is the message with this card. This card is about achievement again, success again, maturity again, having self-control, pregnancy, birth, enjoying the fruits of your labor, rewards, being rewarded for your efforts, achievement, independence, self-control, self-reliance, self-discipline, being rewarded through hard work, prosperity. It could represent retirement for some of you, freedom, wisdom, wealth, a windfall. It could represent you've integrated the factors of your life into a secure base. Now you're enjoying money, resources, and physical energy as a smooth combined flow. There's plenty all around you, material well-being, order, safety, and success. You're free from financial concerns and worries. you're in a period of abundance thanks to your good decisions in business or financial affairs. You've arrived, accomplished your goals, and now you feel secure, self-sufficient, a sense of achievement. It's a card of taking it easy, safety, abundance, luxury, financial independence, pleasure. Some of you may be going through menopause with this card. It's a card of pregnancy, birth, satisfaction, material security, and riches, and then your hopes and fears, what you hope for and fear the most in your situation is the Five of Cups reversed. Scorpio energy. So this card says you're experiencing a personal setback. It's a card of acceptance again, having to accept something, moving on, finding peace. It's a card of contentment, feeling content, seeing positives, letting go of grief, letting go of guilt, letting go of regret, letting go of sorrow. That comes up often in my readings for you, Leo. I would make a note of that, okay? Feeling stuck, stagnation. Again, moving on, moving forward, accepting help, healing, releasing emotions, overcoming despair, rejoining the world, releasing emotional baggage. You may be in a state of indecision. You're refusing to make up your mind about something or to face facts. So I would make a note of that because I've already talked about that briefly at the beginning. Just because there have been past losses doesn't mean there can't be future gains. And if you continue in this negative state of mind, you'll only make things worse for yourself, okay? This card could indicate an out of proportion reaction to loss, real or imaginary, for the sake of melodrama. Again, Spirit is bringing up this melodrama again, for the sake of melodrama or attention. And then your future, if all is to remain as is the King of Pentacles. This is either you, someone in your life, or a situation, male or female, in a general reading. I am sure of my place in the world is the message on the card. The King of Pentacles represents abundance again, money. Taurus energy, he represents, he's very supporting, patriarchal, protective. He could represent a wealthy businessman. He's a provider. He's conservative. He represents wealth, business, leadership. He says your hard work is going to pay off. He's self-reliant. He's someone who reaches their goals. Again, he's ambitious, safe, kind. He represents abundance, prosperity, security. He's principled. He's thriving. He's better. He betters himself. He represents bettering yourself. He's not a risk taker. He sees things through to the end. He's encouraging. He's reliable. He could represent a mature, grounded male. He's successful, dependable, sensible, loyal, fair, traditional, disciplined, humble, generous, patient, faithful. Yeah. So, the King of Pentacles can represent a mature man that's not only wealthy, but is also courageous. He's a solid citizen, reputable, dependable, kind to others. He symbolizes worldly power in a positive sense. He's experienced in handling money matters. He's cultured, refined. He can provide reliable counsel on matters of money, property, and security. He represents someone to be an important position in your life. Maybe he could be a leader where you work, your boss, someone that you're dealing with. Or he could indicate that you're engaged in some worldly enterprise that will meet with success. And then the Hierophant is the clarifier on top of that. This is a major arcana card. It says that you are ready to love and learn. And it came out upright. So the clarifier, the Hierophant is all about education, knowledge, authority again is coming up in your reading. He represents marriage, or the Hierophant represents commitment, marriage, having a vision, learning, teaching, philosophy, intuitions, having spiritual wisdom, religious beliefs, okay? It's a good omen if you're facing a problem, as it indicates that you know the solution. You just have to find a way to put it into practice. If you're asked to teach, this card is reminding you to be a good teacher, always seeking to make wisdom clear to any students, or that you should seek a teacher for yourself. Maybe a formal or semi-formal course of study, or maybe the Hierophant is asking you to imagine what your life would be like if you lived by what you believed. Okay? Tradition, conformity, meaning, religion, morality, and ethics. You've chosen a religion or philosophy by which to guide your life, or it could represent a need to disentangle yourself from such an organization. The Hierophant symbolizes any organized institution, religious, philosophical, educational, spiritual, or temporal, that exerts authority over its followers or participants, a kind of mind control. Such groups often insist that their way is the only way, that theirs is the ultimate truth. This card is, when the Hierophant appears, a choice is being presented. At this stage of your spiritual development, you're challenged to remain a follower or to break out and find your own individual path. The Hierophant is asking whether you will continue to depend on an outside authority, or will you learn to think for yourself? The answer is yours alone, but what you decide will affect the rest of your life. Again, Spirit saying that an authority is active in your life, whether it's in a religious, philosophical, social, or other capacity. You feel a great deal of loyalty to this tradition or group and choose to live in accordance with the beliefs you share with it. You may aspire to become a leader, or you may have a close relationship with the leader. There may also be a judgmental quality involved. This card could also suggest challenges or limitations of a spiritual nature. So that is your reading, Leo. If this reading resonated at all, if you could please like, share, subscribe, let me know. I hope you got some guidance or insight. Thank you so much for allowing me to channel these messages today for you from Spirit. I'm really grateful. I'm sending you a big hug. Take good care. Have an awesome day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.